This is Talk Star Wars, the official podcast at talkstarwars.co.uk. Welcome to Talk Star Wars. I'm Mark.
I'm Steven.
I'm Rob.
Hello, Rob.
Hello.
Hello, Rob. We missed you
Hello,
yesterday.
Oh, I missed you guys too, especially as I was stuck at work.
We missed you on Friday night.
Did you?
Oh, yes, we did.
Oh,
Dare I ask?
Let's just give it a bit of context. So we're recording this on Saturday, the 16th of July, which happens to be my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you, fine gentlemen. Yeah, and we were supposed to be at a celebration today.
Some of us were.
Yeah, well, 4 of us, including Andy and Paul and Steve and myself, but unfortunately all went a bit pear-shaped. So we're having today off and we're going back tomorrow.
Yep. And I'm staying here as I was anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go.
So we have got Expedia to thank for our mishap.
Yeah, what happened with that? Because I only caught kind of social media bits about it. I didn't get the full picture.
Well, we've had a bit of
beep wits.
They are beep wits.
All right.
Last year, when we booked our tickets for Celebration,
yeah,
we also booked an apartment for Expedia for 4 nights because it meant that we could head up on Thursday night, get an early start on Friday, be first through the door, get all our passes, get all our panel. Well, it turned out to be wristbands, but I think we're going to get in there and get our panel passes. And then have a great day and stay there as late as we like. We were talking about staying there at a screening of A New Hope last night, so we were going to stay and watch that as well.
Yep.
Then go back to the apartment, a couple of hours sleep, do a bit of a podcast, whatever. And then do the same thing Saturday, podcast Saturday night, same thing Sunday, podcast Sunday night, come home on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And it all started a couple of weeks ago, didn't it, Steve? We started to get a little bit concerned because we hadn't had any documentation from the hotel, from the apartment.
Right.
And we hadn't had, we wanted confirmation that we had parking, and we wanted to know what the cost of the parking was because we were taking a car and we wanted to be able to leave it on site and whatever.
Fair enough.
So we couldn't get anyone at this apartment to take our calls. We were all of us trying to phone them on multiple numbers for weeks, and we weren't getting anything. So, long, frustrating story cut short, we basically got hold of Expedia, who we booked through, and said to them, what is going on with this apartment? Because we can't reach them. We're really concerned that we're going to lose our accommodation. We need it for Celebration.
Yeah.
And I spoke to them, and she said to me, look, don't worry. I've checked. The hotel's fine. It's still operating. Not sure why they aren't taking your calls, because they've got a 24-hour manned concierge.
Yep.
So we don't know why they're not taking your calls. Have you tried this number? Yes. Have you tried this number? Yes. And they said, well, we'll get in touch with them. And then they come back to us and say, no, everything's okay.
Right.
And I said, look, what happens if this all goes pear-shaped? Where do we stand? Because we need accommodation. She said, oh, don't worry. If anything goes wrong with your booking, we will find you accommodation for your weekend. You haven't got to worry about that. We've got a team called the relocation
Spoilers,
team, right?
Steve.
Yeah. And I said, all right. And what happens if the wheels come off big time? How do we get our cash back? And she said, oh, we've got that. We've got a claims team. We're just escalating out through the claims process. I said, oh, brilliant. That's okay then. So we took the number, didn't we, Steve, for this relocation team. And everyone seemed to have peace of mind there that everything was okay. Got there we drove into London on Thursday night, didn't we, Steve? And we saw the hotel, the picture of the hotel we'd seen.
Yeah.
We saw it, didn't we? As we come out of Blackwall Tunnel, we saw it. We said, oh, there it is. We just got to get there. So we worked out our route to that hotel, and we got there, and we said, oh, it doesn't say anything about being Harmony Apartments. So Steve took one building, I took the other, because it was like broken into 3. And we wandered into the foyer and said, are you Harmony Living Apartments? And they went, no. And I showed them the booking, and she said, oh, no, this isn't 164 Blackwall Way. This is 12 Blackwall Way.
Right.
So we were on like the other side of the postcode or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's all right, okay. So we wandered off, didn't we, mate? We got stuck in all sorts of traffic. Got to 164 Blackwall Way. I went one way looking for the building. Steve went the other way looking for a building. You actually went into 164, didn't you, Steve?
Yeah.
And you spoke to...
He didn't. I spoke to the concierge in there, and he didn't know diddly.
No.
He said, "You're not the first people to come here." In fact, he was really rude, and I had to go to him first, and I thought, "Oh, dear, that's not going to do well." So I said, "Hello, mate, I'm just looking for this." And we said, "What's the address?" I went, "We're looking for 160. And the phone rang, and he picked it up. I went, "Hello." I went, "Why don't you just carry on talking, like, on the phone, like, mid-sentence then? We'll do that, shall we?" Because I had the ump by then anyway.
Yeah. Well, I understand.
And he looked at me with eyes that said, "I hope you've been effed over."
Yeah.
Well, I found it really helpful when you come and got me. I thought he was.
Then he calmed down a bit, I think, and he was all right then.
Yeah.
Well, except that it was all a trap.
It was all a big trap.
It was a trap.
It's a trap.
So Steve came out and got me because he had to have the booking details. So I went in with the booking details, spoke to this bloke, and he said, "No, you're not the first people to have done this. This is just like, this is private apartments. There's nothing here for rental. Can't help you, you know." He looked over all our documentation and said, "No, it's nothing to do with this building." So I phoned Expedia and I said, "Look, this is all gone pear-shaped like you told us it wouldn't. What the hell are we going to do for accommodation?"
Yeah.
And she said, "Hang on." She took the itinerary number. She said, "Look, I'm going to phone this guy and then I'll phone you back." So she phoned him, then phoned me back and said, "I've just spoken to him. He's there. They're waiting for you. He's going to phone you in a minute." She said he'll phone you within 5 minutes of me hanging up. If anything goes wrong, call me. I'm making a note on your itinerary now so that we know we can pick up where we left off. Okay. So I waited 15 minutes, no phone call. I phoned them back. I said, "No phone call, no hotel room. What's going on?" So she said, this was a different person by this time. "Oh, well, I'll just have to phone the vendor again." I said, "Don't phone the vendor again. The previous person just phoned the vendor. There's nothing being done here."
Yeah.
So she said, "Oh, it's part of the process to put me on hold, listen to some funky music while they phone." Then she came back to me, no answer at that number, and now it's being redirected.
Sorry, just back up a sec. Did you just say funky music?
Funky music on hold.
Okay, that's something then. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Just making sure.
Well, I meant funky as in, like, the pile of clothes that's next to Steve's bed now is funky.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, never mind.
So she said, "Yeah, this number's going nowhere." And I said, "Right, I think it's time for us to think about pulling a trigger on relocation because obviously we've wasted over an hour at this point."
Yeah.
So she said, "All right then." So off she went. I was on hold for 10 minutes.
Right.
Then someone from the relocation team come on and they said, "All right, we're going to get you sorted out. Now, where do you want to go?" 45 minutes later, we'd been through just about every hotel in London. Everything was booked apart from one place called the Carlton.
Right, okay.
She said,
"Where's that?"
In the same postcode, apparently.
No. Oh, okay,
We never found that one either, Rob. Because I said to Andy, who was driving, I said, "Look, make your way round to the Carlton. Let's sit outside. She's going to book us in. Once we've got the green light, we can go in, get our bags down. Then Rob's going to come from the other side of London and meet us." Rob, rubbing that in. Paul is going to come from the other side of London and meet us, and then we'll start our evening, right?
Okay.
So we got through this preliminary booking stuff with her while we were driving around to the Carlton, and she said, "All right, can I just have your credit card number?" And I said, "Why do you need the credit card number? We've already got a booking." She said, "Oh, yeah, but no, you need to pay for this one." And
hang on.
We said, "No, we paid for the other one." "No, you didn't." "Yes, we did. We paid 860 quid in full last year." "No, you didn't."
Yeah.
So
I can assure you I did.
That is pretty much the shape of the next hour on the phone, Rob.
Back and forth, just
no, you didn't pay. "Yes, I did."
And then some, hour and a half.
Yeah.
So we had
man.
I had an hour with this woman. I had Paul sending over screen grabs of his bank statements proving that we'd paid in full, and they were telling us no, basically calling us liars, saying, "No, I can't book this room until you pay us again."
Yeah.
Again.
So we're sitting outside what we thought was the Carlton at this point.
Right.
And she was giving me the runaround. I said, "Look, I need to speak to a supervisor. I need to speak to somebody who can make a decision that you're not equipped to make."
Yeah.
And she said, "All right, they'll call you back in an hour." I said, No. What are you having a laugh?
Yeah.
Don't call me back in an hour. I've already spent 2 hours on the phone now at this point.
Yeah.
We're like 3 hours into our weekend away, and we've got someone sitting in a Starbucks on the other side of London waiting for somewhere to come.
Yeah.
You've got to pull your finger out and get this done. I said, an act of good faith. I think you've dropped the ball on this. An act of good faith would tell me, book us in there, let us get in, and then we can sort all this out. She said, nope.
Yeah.
I won't do it. You wait an hour, I'll speak to... In the end, she hung up on me.
Wow.
Just put the phone down.
Yeah.
So I had to phone back, and then I did the whole thing again over the next hour with another guy.
Man.
But I had the opportunity then I brought Paul into the call on a conference call.
Yeah.
So he was telling the guy on the phone the situation. Now, this guy on the phone was clearly going through a script, right? This is customer service Expedia style. Right. So he was working through a script. And he said, okay, so you need to pay before we get you into the Colton. So we've paid. No, you haven't.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. We paid a year ago. He said, no, you didn't. I said, yeah, we paid in full a year ago, 860 quid. He said, all right, well, that'll be refunded to you. And Paul said, when? He said, in 2 weeks. So we're going to be refunded in 2 weeks. He said, yes.
Yeah.
So the 860 quid. He said, yes. I said, the money you just told me we haven't paid. Yeah, you haven't paid it. Then how are you going to refund us the money that we haven't paid? Yeah, no, you didn't pay anything. I assure you didn't pay anything. So what are you refunding? We're not refunding anything. So when do we get the money back? In 2 weeks. I thought, this is like some Kubrickian sort of nightmare. That I'm going around and around in this infinite loop.
Well, like the worst opera ever.
Oh, it is just. It was just an absolute mess. So I said to this guy, like, you've got to get us this accommodation. You dropped the ball on this. We've been charged already, and you want to charge us again for the same. Yeah. You haven't been charged, he said. Whatever. You've got to get us in this room. I can't get you into that room, he said. I've told you this repeatedly. Until you give us payment for that room, you can't have the booking. Right. And I said I've just spent the best part of 4 hours on the phone.
Yeah. So what time of day? What time of day is this?
This is like 7:30 now or something.
In the morning?
No, in the evening. This is at night.
Oh, so this is the afternoon, right?
We're parked up on the side of the road in London somewhere. We're getting covered in crap from all the smog and mush that blows around up there. Mm-hmm. So he says, look, I'm going to tell you this one more time.
Right.
And try to understand.
Wow. Okay.
I said, tell me you're not going to speak to me like that after 4 and he hung up. So we had to have a little regroup at that point, and we just said, let's go home.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, mate. That's outrageous.
It's outrageous.
I've never known anything like it.
How we didn't open the Jack Daniels in the boot, I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, we all kept our cool, didn't we, really? Surprisingly.
For those of American persuasion.
Miss what, mate?
That's trunk for those of an American.
Yeah.
We don't keep our alcohol in our footwear. So yeah, we came home and basically I just mobilised the Talk Star Wars collective, and everybody has been retweeting about this absolutely hideous performance.
That's a shambles.
And like Steve,
never known anything quite like it.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And the mere fact that they want to appear as though they're helping, but they're not even remotely trying to accommodate anything.
They don't give a shining poo.
No, they couldn't give a poo.
Because they're 6,000 miles away in India. Why would they care?
You had a tweet from them today, didn't you, Steve?
Yeah, because I've been tweeting them continuously. And
I saw that.
They go, oh, please can you contact us on this number? We really want to help you. I go, nah, I'm just moaning. Yep. Contact my mate Paul, and here's his details. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I'm going to carry on tweeting until you sorted it, because it really did. I mean, it was horrendous. You know,
that's
it was
unreal.
5 hours sitting in London with nowhere to go.
Yeah,
and we could have paid another 860 quid and lost it. No way. I'm not doing that.
No, well, no, nor should you have to. That's outrageous.
For another hotel we couldn't find as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, because
the second hotel they sent us, we asked in the Hilton, and they said, "No, never heard of that." I said, "Is this Discovery Dock?" And they went, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, we never heard of that." I was like, "Oh God, here we go again." So we didn't even know if that one was real. Paid another 860. He'd ring about half an hour's time, go, "We just paid the second date." No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. That would be where we were.
We just paid it. No, you didn't. Here's our bank statement. Here's my bank manager. Here's the Bank of England guy of that American guy. I can't remember. No, don't know who he is.
Wow. It was just horrendous. It was dreadful. So for everyone that's supported us with your kind comments and your retweets, it's greatly appreciated. But it has derailed the weekend for us somewhat,
Yeah, understandable.
Yesterday was awesome.
Yeah, I'll bet, because I want to hear all about. I want to hear all about this.
Let's leave the Expedia thing behind. Expedia, you can go and blow a goat. You're absolutely terrible. So we're going to move on now and talk about the fun stuff.
Hey, James and Corey, what's your post-Star Wars chat routine?
I like to lie back on my bed and look up at the stars and remember the good old days when I had a roof.
To be perfectly honest, Kyle, I usually sit there and stare at the floor for a good 15 minutes before I either pass out on the spot or stagger to bed with a lit smoke.
Yow.
Yikes.
Well, guys, the science is in, and it tells us that doubling down on Star Wars talk has many healthy benefits, like a broader view, a more serious mind, and a possible increase in your midi-chlorian count. So once you're done listening to the fine gents on Talk Star Wars, you should check out the Tumbling Saber podcast.
It's our great white northern take about the galaxy far, far away.
Take off, you hoser.
Sorry, man.
The fact is that Tumbling Saber isn't just idle speculation. At Tumbling Saber, we go deep, man. We provoke thought and conversation. We move the needle.
So check us out on iTunes and Stitcher.
We're also active on Twitter. I'm Chop Rules, me, with a Z.
Corey, I think it's a Z. I'm at Tumbling Saber on Twitter, by the way.
Isn't Zed dead? I'm pretty sure the cool kids hang out on Instagram and Facebook.
The kids are done with Facebook and Instagram, but you can find us there anyway. But that's not all.
Star Wars can drive even the sanest person mad with endless speculation. So join us as we ponder over the thousands of possible rabbit holes to travel down.
We love listener input on the Tumbling Saber podcast, so if there's anything you want to get off your chest, come lay your nagging questions and crazy theories at our feet.
Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your supernatural elimination needs.
I thought this was a Star Wars podcast?
Dude, we're giving away 1 million Canadian dollars to the first person who gets the reference.
You better find out how many British pounds that's worth.
You shut your mouth over there.
Yes,
So
so
Rob,
I want
what
to
do you
hear
wanna hear?
first. I want to hear about the show floor because, obviously you have the live stream going on, so I could, if I wanted to, tune into the panels. And I did tune into a couple, but the show floor is what I'm really keen to hear about.
Yes. Well, we didn't. I don't know how many hours we spent in queues. You got any estimate, Steve? How many hours we spent in queues yesterday?
We got there at 7. We queued up for 2 hours to an hour tickets. So that was all in these massive aerodromes where they filmed Batman, the scene with the Batmobile.
Oh wow! Okay,
that's where it is. The big white sort of aerodrome. That's exactly what it's like. It's like 30 acres of that.
it's the XL, isn't it?
The XL.
London XL. Yeah, I like that. I like that venue a lot.
Such a
Been there a couple of
We
times.
had to get our wristbands for an hour, and then we had to.
No, the wristbands weren't bad. The wristbands weren't bad.
Yeah, it was bad. No, but then we sat there for a good hour after those to get into the actual place.
To get to the show floor, you have to queue up, and that was nearly 2 hours because I remember because it was really efficient. The bag check was really efficient.
Yep.
The collecting of the 3-day passes extremely efficient. Everybody from Reedpop are incredible. They're so helpful. They're just the loveliest people. And
especially compared to what you've been dealing with.
Exactly. I mean, I would, if I met Jeffrey Dahmer, I'd probably say he was such a delight compared to the customer services at Expedia.
Oh, that Hitler fella. Oh,
yeah,
Hitler stories. He's got some fantastic.
A little diamond. Yeah. So we queued up and got our Rogue One panel passes and our Mark Hamill panel passes, and they wouldn't let us have Paul's because he was still training to us at that point. Obviously, because he couldn't stay over the night before.
Which is fair enough, I guess.
Which is fair. But then they were very accommodating to him when he finally turned up. But we went and joined the queue for the show floor, which was about 2 hours of queuing.
Only because it hadn't opened at that point. It didn't open until 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, you still there, Rob?
9:30. Sorry.
Hang on, I've lost Rob. Hang on a sec. Let me bring him back in.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves for a while, people. Bringing Rob Berto back in.
I'm back.
He's back. Sorry about that, mate.
I brought myself back in.
Yeah, sorry, right. Steve, what were you saying? They hadn't opened the main door.
Yeah, that was, in fairness to them, because we'd heard on the radio, or not on the radio, on the internet, that 20,000 people had stayed overnight to get their wristbands, which was complete balderdash because there were no queues whatsoever.
20,000 people?
That was all rubbish.
It was rubbish.
That was all rubbish.
People literally straight in at 7 and went straight up and got our wristbands. And then we had to queue. Then till 9:30, so 2.5 hours later. Yeah. Say 2 hours because by the time we got them, it's 7:30. We then went into the show floor, and that was really good. We didn't. In fairness, we we didn't see much of the show floor. That's what we're doing tomorrow.
It's because we spent all the time queuing. So once we got through, what do you think? About 10 o'clock, we hit the show floor, Steve.
Yeah, for about an hour.
And we made a beeline to the Rogue One props and costumes exhibition.
Okay.
Which you can get into and you can walk around right up close to them.
Oh, wow, nice.
Right,
are they in cabinets or?
They're in glass cabinets.
Yeah.
They were cool.
It was
20 minutes queuing to get in them, but that was all right.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Yeah. Krennic's white Grand Admiral's uniform, the Director Krennic's uniform, that was there. Loads of Shore Troopers, loads of Storm Troopers, the Death Troopers, all the Rogues' uniforms were there. Little model of Krennic's shuttle, little model of the Death Star. It was just amazing. There's some really beautiful stuff on display.
Yeah, nice.
Quite sparse. What there was good.
Yeah, it was very nice.
And before that, there was like the Lego area and a nice bookstore, magazine store, stuff like that. And there's loads of stuff dotted around. There was the tattoo place to the left in Star Wars tattoos.
The Funko Pops had a display there with like floor to ceiling pops.
Yeah, I can imagine they've got absolutely tons. When I went to Eurogamer Expo, not last year, the year before, they had a stand that was just completely rammed out with stuff that some of the stuff I'd never seen before.
Yeah, it was
quite incredible.
Staggering.
And then they even had like a cake stall doing Star Wars cakes and stuff.
Yeah, they had everything.
There was loads of little bits to see on that side, but that's the only side we saw, right, Mark? We never got to the other side.
We didn't get to the other side. We've got to do that tomorrow. But there was Amy Radcliffe was there yesterday. She's a big Star Wars personality, like a podcaster, and she writes for StarWars.com. And
I know.
And Nerdist. Yeah. She was there. I saw her very briefly as she was flitting around. They were just putting their little stage together, and it's tiny. Yeah. It's just like a little stage with maybe 20 or 30 seats in front of it, so you can sit down and get up close and personal as they talk about podcasting and all that sort of stuff. So missed that because we had to rush. They had a full-size land speeder. I had a photograph taken with Pal Pacino.
Oh,
because that's all of that stuff's in the photo stream. Well, the photo stream is for the Veeps, but I'll be putting some of that stuff on the main blog over the next couple of days.
Nice.
They had baseball caps, T-shirts, all these stands, all there. There's all that stuff we're going to soak up again tomorrow, and we've got time. But we all looked at our watches after seeing the Rogue One display. So it was time to queue up for Hamill.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the Rogue One display. What was Hamill? 12:30?
11:30.
11:30.
So
but we got through at 10. Good to see.
You had to be there compulsory. It was 40 minutes before.
Right.
So we knew we had to be there like 10 to 11.
Yep.
And it was 20 past 10 by the time we'd gone into the Rogues exhibition because of queuing. So,
the Rogues Gallery, if you will.
The Rogues Gallery. And so we didn't have much time to kill on the rest of the show floor, because of having to rush off to queue for Mark Hamill, which was worth every minute in the queue because he's... Did you see much of that, Rob?
Sorry, mate?
Did you see much of Mark's panel?
Yes, I saw about 3/4 of it. I may have even seen the whole thing, but I had to do it in stops and starts because obviously I had the audio on while I was working, so I was just kind of back. I had to stop and start every now and then.
So charismatic and relaxed.
He was. He really was, and he's a proper. What I really like about him is he's a proper old style theatre lovey. Yeah, I really like that. You know.
Yeah, he's
done a lot of West End stuff, doesn't he?
Yes, he has. Yeah, and Broadway.
Broadway, yeah. He's just delightful. I thought he was really engaging, really funny. Some of the stories, and one of the guys, I don't know if you caught this, Rob, but they were doing Q&A, so people could go up and they could queue up at a microphone, and ask him a question.
Yes,
and a young lad went up, and I can't remember what his question was, but I'll tell you what it was about. It was about Michael Arndt's script. He said,
okay.
Was there anything in Michael Arndt's script that you wish had made it to the final version of Force Awakens?
Yeah.
And Mark said...
never saw it.
No, he had never got a chance to read it, and he was really disappointed. But he said he'd gone to Lucasfilm, and he'd seen all the designs, and he'd spoken to artists, and they said, we've been drawing you for a year, drawing all different variations. So there's even a version of Luke in scuba gear. And he said, and there was a picture of me with, he said, what's her name? What's... Daisy's character. He said, "What's Daisy's character name?" And this lad that was asking the question said, "Ray."
Yeah.
And Mark said, "Yeah, Ray." And then the lad really quick said, "What's her second name?" And you could see sort of Mark Hamill tripping over his thoughts and sort of why.
I did see that. Yeah,
it was about 10 seconds before he went, I see what you did.
And then he just said, I don't know. That was so funny. The whole place, I don't know really if it picked up on the live stream, but the whole place just erupted. It was
I can imagine, yeah.
And so I think I was sitting there, Mark, thinking, he's going to mess up in a minute at some point. But he didn't give any spoilers, unlike the afternoon session.
Which we're going to
talk about later. Which we'll get on.
Do you know about this, Rob?
I do, yeah. I watched.
They didn't get rid of it then?
I watched the second half of it, and I saw that.
We thought they would bleep it out.
Yeah,
they were proper. I think they were proper live. They may have had a really short delay, but
that's what I was thinking. They'd had that time just to quickly bleep that out.
I assume we're talking about the same thing. We'll come to it.
Yeah,
they were
because otherwise I go what?
Yeah,
yeah. We all when you look around, everyone's looking at each other. Did he just say dead?
I couldn't believe what he said. I wrote it out. There's an article on the site about it today, about what was said. And I've been very careful with it because I've hidden it in a.
You can find it. There's a fantastic GIF file of him saying it and Alan Tudyk just perking up and going, "Wait a minute, it's amazing."
No. What a
Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find it while we're talking.
Yeah,
but
stick it in there.
Yeah, the Mark Hamill thing. One thing I really liked about the Q&As in general, and this is something that's always driven me absolutely nuts in video games, is whenever people go up to ask questions in video game panels, they always take 20 seconds thanking the person for being there. And they also then go on to talk about what 2-bit blog they're from.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Like, and they just go, thank you so much for being here. And I'm here from, games for
Gimps.
xlepers.com. No, I'm just trying to think of one off the top of my head. But,
I kind of felt sorry for a lot of the people in the queue that were asking the questions, because there was a massive queue at the end and they didn't. At the start, the guy said before it even started, and this wouldn't have been out for anyone else, I don't think, but he said, look, we want quick fire question. Mark wants boom, 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 boom. I mean, in fairness to them, Mark was going way off on a tangent with each question.
He was. That's one thing, yeah.
There were so many people left over at the end, but they did give out those signed photographs.
Oh, that's good.
Mark?
Yes.
He said, are we out of pictures?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah,
the thing is,
run out of pictures by that point.
after they'd asked all the questions, it had ended. Yeah. I saw people quickly joining the end of the line, knowing full well that there might be and I was like, "You cheeky little bugger!"
Gits,
I
didn't know.
Yeah, I know. They ran up at the end, and I thought, "Oh yeah, you little buggers," because there's probably 100 signed photos or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't
One little
matter,
chestnut we did get out of that Mark panel was that he has lines. He definitely has lines.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which we weren't.
He definitely has lines, and he's been doing a lot of physical. Although he did it for the 7, it's probably they were thinking ahead to get him fit. Hopefully for a nice lightsaber or a fire sword scene.
He likes to call them fire swords or laser swords.
Yeah. The one thing I liked about it was he was talking about. It's kind of nice to hear him talk about it, having not looked at it for a while, and he was saying about how there's a lot of dialogue that he can already see being on T-shirts.
Yes.
And how he said that there's stuff that will make you forget all about May the Force be with you. And I was like, wow, that is a bold claim.
That's amazing. Considering I may have had a couple of little tears yesterday. And one of them was centered around that line being spoken by somebody.
Right, okay.
We'll get to in a second.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, funnily enough, that's in both the bit that went out and in the bit that we saw that no one else did.
Yeah.
The new trailer.
Well, should we get to that? Because I'm conscious of the fact that the clock's ticking. I know you guys have got things to do today.
We did out there time, Mark, about 2 o'clock. No, about 1 o'clock we got out of there roughly.
Well, the Mark Hamill thing.
Mark Hamill, Then we went and got something to eat, which was the Maelstrom of people. It was just like, see, in fact, the Excel Centre, and this is no word of a lie, had its own weather system at that point.
It did. There was a cloud in the middle of it. It's really weird.
In the middle of it, from people's odour and sweat and lovely muckiness, which was rising up. And then we queued for what? And then we got a bit early for the panel which was at 4, wasn't it, Mark?
The Rogue One one, yeah, it was 4.
So we pretty much had something to eat and went straight back in and started queuing for that.
I saw Peter from Slash Film, didn't I? And I went running off after him.
Yeah.
And managed to lose him in the crowd, which is impressive because he's not a small lad. And he just disappeared into this crowd like some sort of ninja.
Is he like he's quite tall then?
No, he's not quite. He's quite a
stocky,
just wide, just a solid wide guy. He's but he's not. I mean, he's not as tall as me, but he just vanished.
Yeah.
So that was a bit disappointing because I just wanted to say hello to him. But then, like Steve said, we went and queued up for ages for the Rogue One thing, but just compared Rays, really, didn't we, Steve?
Yeah, we did. We did go daisy hunting.
We were just judging Rays. There was some incredible cosplay there.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah,
that's just incredible.
That's not surprising to me, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's
only one gold bikini that I saw though.
There was only one gold bikini. There was some really impressive creature stuff, but then it was all Rays. I'd say probably 60% of the cosplay there yesterday were Rays.
I believe it. Yeah,
and they were very well done.
They were very. Some of them were impeccable. I mean, one in particular we saw her in the morning, didn't we? She said that's going to be hard to beat because she looked so much like Daisy as well. She was beautiful, this girl, and really well turned out. But
that
was.
We skirted around that one successfully, didn't we?
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, speaking of Daisy Ridley, I rewatched Force Awakens the other day because Mark, you know this. I went on a big binge of buying Star Wars movies on iTunes.
You did throughout.
They weren't on offer. I just bought them because I've been meaning to for ages, and I thought I might as well. But I was watching it, and in the opening crawl, it basically tells us that we've kind of been misinterpreting the Lor San Tekka stuff, because it says that all the dialogue in the first 5 minutes is about how he's found a map. It's not that he's had it all along and all that stuff.
Yeah,
he doesn't know more than anybody else where Luke Skywalker's gone. But it does kind of throw some shade. I mean, we can talk about it in more depth maybe on a different episode. Mm-hmm. I just found it interesting because it kind of throws a bit of shade on the ideas we've had about how he was kind of set up there and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, but
No, it's a good point because I did notice it on my last viewing a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to talk a little bit about Rogue One?
Were we in for a treat in the afternoon? Oh my God. That was the icing on the cake.
It was staggering, wasn't it?
Oh, it was brilliant. I've not seen like that many stars in
the
my
big
life that we saw in one day. It was just phenomenal.
When we walked into that, we looked up at the stage, didn't we, Steve? And we counted, there was a dozen chairs up there and thought, who's here? Because I was expecting Kathleen Kennedy, Kiri Hart, Gareth.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Rob Noel was going to be there. Until they brought those 4 out first and sat them down, and it was just all the cast. I don't know how much you saw, Rob, but they brought Ben Mendelsohn came in as Krennic.
I did see that. Yes, it was awesome,
stunning.
That was where I came in. I think was just as he was leaving the stage.
They did something actually. If that's the first thing you saw, then you may have missed this. Gwendolyn Christie came out because she was the host for the panel.
Yes,
and she took a moment of silence for France for everything that happened in Nice.
I heard about it. I didn't see that. No, but that's really nice.
Vive la France. That's all I've got to say.
And the French contingent in the audience stood extemporaneously and sang the national anthem.
Mm.
And
we all clapped
choked up. Oh,
yeah, I bet.
Just so moving. That sort of patriotism. Really effective.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Another disgusting thing. We seem to do this every week, don't we?
Yeah, there's a lot of it in there.
Well, we're not doing it. We're just reacting to it. It's not our fault.
But if any French people listening, if there are any French people listening, Britain is standing beside you as our brothers.
Of course. I think it goes without saying that the overwhelming majority of the world is standing with them.
And right.
Absolutely.
Pretty much just some really stupid people and the mentalist who did it.
We've got to get less ignorant rather than more ignorant, and more tolerant rather than less tolerant. That's the answer to this, because you can't beat it otherwise. There is no other way to win.
It seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Seems pretty simple.
That's going on a T-shirt.
That's a yeah. I mean, that's a bigger discussion, I think, anyway.
Fair. You know, all our thoughts and best wishes are going to all the French people out there and the families that were affected. So
very moved by that yesterday. So yeah, after that, after they brought out John Knoll, Kiri Hart, Kathleen Kennedy, and Gareth Edwards, they brought the cast out, including Forrest Whitaker, as we know, Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Donnie Yen, Zhang Wen, Alan Tudyk, and then and Riz Ahmed, and then they brought out Ben Mendelsohn at the end, and gave him the stage at the end, which was absolutely fantastic. But we had a technical hiccup, didn't we, with the first the sizzle reel.
It wasn't meant to play twice, was it? Before the end?
No. So you saw all that. You saw all the sizzle reel.
Yes.
Did you see?
Did you get the technical hitch as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got it played twice.
Okay.
So did it actually stop halfway through for you as well?
I guess if it's live, then it would have, because the sizzle reel stalled.
Oh.
Halfway through at the start, and they had to abandon it.
Maybe actually, yeah, that does sound plausible.
But they played us some footage of Alan Tudyk as K2SO. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that. That was brilliant.
That looked really good.
Yeah.
Very funny. The droid is really impressive. I didn't expect it to look quite as cool as that.
That K2SO,
cool. Yes.
in the sizzle reel, a lot of websites are alluding to the fact that Silver Hornet-looking android is K2SO, but it's not. Obviously not, is it?
No, it's not. It's really not.
No, that's not.
I don't know why they.
I know that. I'm just reading on.
Droid. I think it's just a droid.
That is.
Yeah. Got no. Well, I mean, it may have some relevance to the story, but it certainly has none that we're aware of.
Yeah, no. One of them.
I think they're confused.
One of them clatters past in episode 4, doesn't it? As they're waiting to take Chewie up to the prison block, and it's just that. I think it's just dressing for that location shoot, which they did in Canary Wharf.
Yes, they showed it, didn't they? This time with the actual sign.
All the signs. That was brilliant. The juxtaposition of the real world and the fantasy world is amazing.
Yeah.
Now we can address the Wampa in the room, can't we?
It's not
because it was on the sizzle reel.
Yeah,
there was like a Wampa thing, wasn't there? Yeah.
I took a bunch of screen grabs off that sizzle reel today, and they're on the site. There's about 70 odd in a little slideshow in a post.
Yeah.
So you can get a close-up look at everything that was on there. And
I'm actually obviously on Talk Star Wars, isn't it? They're not on Slash Film.
Yes, of course. I don't think that is a Wampa, and it definitely is kitted out with some sort of hardware.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool.
Because he's got gear on. I've not actually seen it other than the quick flash, so I will have a look at that now. While we talk amongst ourselves.
Should we wrap up with the trailer that didn't go out?
That was the best bit, wasn't it? Because they stopped everyone. They put on that. They said, you can take pictures of this, but no pictures, no nothing, because you are be getting this, and no one in the world will be getting this. Yeah, and if anyone, and then we wondered why they played the sizzle reel again. Now, it could have been an accident, but I thought it was the opportunity for them to get the security guards walking around, and they escorted 2 people out during that time.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, one of them was arguing with them, saying, I didn't have it on. But
don't you know who I am? I work for Star Wars News Tomorrow.web.
Yeah, Pete. Yeah. But I saw the first time they were playing the sizzle reel, because that was at that point they'd already said put your cameras away. I saw 2-3 cameras on, so they were mopping up those.
Do you think that was a trap?
And then it's a trap, because Kathleen Kennedy came out again and said, "Now this is the thing just for you.
This is just for you," and it had a big thing on the screen saying "Loose lips sink starships." Yeah, and I may have caught the audio accidentally for it, but I'm not going to make that public anyway. It's and that's just for private use. This trailer is about 90 seconds long at the most. Goodness me, it's incredible. Have you read any descriptions of it, Rob?
Of the trailer?
Of the trailer that we saw.
I only got a kind of summary, and I think it didn't really get across the impact, because it said it was a lot of shots from previous.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of material that was used, and there was a lot of material that you saw in that sizzle that is actually in the proper edited trailer.
Yeah.
But you see, it opens with a young Jin, a little girl that's obviously Jin on the planet Jeddah, which is where they come from. Yes. Her and her father, And
Yes.
it's this little girl running, and then there's a cross dissolve in the trailer to grown-up Sergeant Jin, who's also running in the same way, but this time she's with the rogues. And there's a whole bunch of rapid cuts to action scenes, explosions, shuttles landing, shuttles taking off. There's dialogue from Felicity Jones about how now she's got something, like she's got a purpose. It's something like now she's got a purpose. She's got something to fight for because she's now part of the rebellion and everything. But the way it ends, it is just staggering. The last reveal in the 10 seconds, Steve, do you want to walk him through what that is?
Yeah, well, it's her taking off or landing in a craft, much like Yoda's scene in episode 2 when he's going around the perimeter you'll make. That type of thing. Am I right in saying that, Mark? I think that's right.
Yeah. That sounds right,
And then she's sort of looking just to the left of the camera. We can say this, right? This is all right to tell them.
That's in the sizzle reel, I'm fairly sure. Yeah.
No, what she says is... what does she say? Because I'll...
Right, so in the sizzle reel, she says, "May the force be with us."
Oh, okay, so it's in both.
Yeah.
And then what's the very last bit, Mark?
The very last bit, we cut to... It's like the last 10 seconds of the trailer. Now, if you'd been paying attention in previous podcasts when we predicted this...
Oh, yes. Oh, I can tell you. Sorry, I'm back on track now.
Go on then.
So you're in a steamy, sort of darkened room, red lights kind of coming in from the side.
Okay.
And the camera's kind of panning up from the bottom to reveal... Yeah, to reveal, obviously, the bottom of someone, and then a bit higher up, and then you hear...
Oh, wow. Nice.
And obviously that's where it ends, and we're like, ooh, pee-pee came out.
Yeah, I would have been the same, I think, in that situation.
And it's
like I say, you describe it so much more interesting than wherever I read it. Yeah. Wherever it was.
I've got a little audio clip if you want to hear a little audio clip. I'll see if I can find...
Naughty.
It's just an audio clip, pretty much of... Actually, I don't know whether I should play
It'll
this.
come in loud, right?
Well, I'm just thinking. We're not breaching anything by talking about it, are we?
No, I think we're okay there.
Well, it's the... Yeah, no, I'm not going to play it because it is the audio.
Play it off recording, and
I'll play it after because it really is. It's just Andy and I. It's a recording of Andy and I's reaction because I was going to film this reaction.
I tell you what, if you're a VIP and you want to hear it, then I think that would be.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know
if we can do that.
I don't know. What do you reckon, Mark?
No, I think we should try and keep this one off the radar. Let's just respect.
Yeah, they did ask, didn't they? And we want to keep it real.
Yeah, and if you are a VIP, just know that whatever you do hear or see in that feed should be kept to you because you are a VIP.
And
staggering.
Not that other people aren't VIPs, we're all VIPs, but we've got to keep the site alive, and our VIPs keep it alive because they pay a little tiny bit of money and keep us, allowing us to do the stuff we do.
Yes, indeed they do. Yeah, this is true.
Please support us because we spend.
One thing I really liked from seeing at the Rogue One panel, which I don't know how much gravitas that had from where you were, we saw Galen Erso.
Yes.
And he looked nothing like I pictured.
No, it's amazing, isn't it?
He looked like he was a kind of almost like a hermit that they'd have to sort of round up.
Well, I wonder how much that image that they released, which is also on Talk Star Wars, is it's very much a cross between Luke and Obi-Wan, sort of that kind of feeling.
Kinda.
And I suspect that might be him a little younger when Jin's this little girl that we see right at the start of the trailer. So maybe the Galen that we see, if we see him later in the film, may look somewhat different because there's possibly 10 or 15 years in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he looked great. I thought it was a great character design. I thought just about everything that they'd shown was staggering. I mean, they showed a very, very quick shot of Cassian Andor, which is Diego Luna's character, in disguise as an Imperial officer.
Okay.
I don't know if you picked up on that.
No, I didn't actually, no.
He's with an Imperial gunner,
which
is Jin in disguise.
Right.
And you see him throw a stormtrooper against the wall, and there's a little fight that breaks out.
I saw that. I saw that. I didn't realize that was
in disguise.
Oh, okay. I did not know.
We learned that Bodhi Rook, Riz Ahmed's character, is a Imperial pilot, which is why he's got that Imperial cog insignia on the shoulder of his jacket. Because he actually works for the Empire.
Right. Okay.
But he's obviously with the
Do you want to, Zhang Wen? Do you want to talk about his spoiler? Are we mentioning it? Or?
Let's do this then, right? We'll say let's do that spoiler, but let's wrap this episode of the podcast up now.
Yep.
And then
if you want to hear
we'll continue recording. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Rogue One, you end your recording after we do our sign-offs, and then we'll stick around. We'll just go over the spoiler at the end.
Yep.
And we'll drop it there so that we don't spoil it for anyone.
We could drop it on YouTube.
What
just the spoiler bit?
No, let's leave it on the podcast because it's less work for me.
All right, fine.
So let's sign off, guys. Where can people find you between episodes?
I will be naked in bed mostly. Mostly, I'm naked in bed. Mostly.
And the rest of the time?
I'm picking up on a few videos now in my YouTube channel. Please support me because all the money, as I've said many times, goes towards saving wildlife habitats. And just watch my videos, watch the adverts, and they're a bit boring, but you might find something interesting there.
And where can we find those, Steve?
Oh, that's a really good point, Rob.
Yeah.
It's just my YouTube channel, Calastine, Calastein. Go there.
And Rob, where can we find you?
So I'm most active I'm most active on Twitter at Rob Wade Vision. I hit 501 followers at time of recording, which I thought was quite nice. It's a Star Wars themed one.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I thought so. Especially considering, I think last time I checked before I started doing this, I was like 190 or something. So it's definitely an incredibly large jump.
That's 190. What? I missed that bit. 100. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's gone up from that to 501 in the last 6 months.
That's my next thing to
quite incredible. So thank you to everybody who's, in general, but obviously especially the Talk Star Wars fans, because without you, I am less.
Yeah, it's awesome. It goes without saying we appreciate the support.
Yeah, and then I'm on a blog called Emotionally 14, which has a website, emotionally14.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all sorts of associated stuff. But emotionally14.com has all the links there that you can find really easily.
Okay, and we'll put a link, as always, to a landing page in our show notes so that you can go there and find links to Steve's and Rob's channels, respectively. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, those details would have popped up already. Pooped up. You can find everything I do at talkstarwars.co.uk, and I'm at talkstarwars on Twitter. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Rogue One, disappear now. We will see you next week. Thanks for your patronage, guys.
Thank you very much for all your support,
Thank you very
guys.
Much.
Right.
Bye-bye.
There you go.
Let's talk.
And there you have it.
Spoiler.
Phase. Now, can I say something before we talk about this?
Yeah, do it.
They make such an effort that Gwendolyn Christie's stuff, her questions, is all pre-written down, pre-discussed, taken apart, put back together, vetted. Why don't they do the same with the answers? Hello?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that particular one, I think was a language barrier thing.
Well, I wondered that.
Because I noticed that during the Mark Hamill panel as well, when people were saying, like, keep the questions short and sweet, I noticed that for people whose first language wasn't English, they were taking longer, and understandably so. I mean, I'm the same when I speak another language. I have to take longer to. I just wait for the speed bike to go past. Yeah, I have to take longer to formulate my sentences than I would in English because obviously I don't know all the slang and all the quick ways of saying the stuff I want to say. So, understandably so, but it was something I observed, and I wonder if his answers, maybe he couldn't frame the answers in the way he wanted originally, and so he kind of talked around it.
Yeah,
and maybe that's where he went wrong. Where it went
purposeful red herring by them.
It could well be.
Had that before.
That's a tricky one.
The reaction is, like I say, I need to find this this GIF of Alan Tudyk reacting because it is fantastically funny.
Well, just to give people a bit of context, what happened was Gwendolyn was asking Jiang Wen and Donnie Yen about their characters and how they relate in the movie. And Donnie's character is Chirrut. I can't remember the character's second name.
Imwe, isn't it? Chirrut
Imwe, yeah. Imwe. Chirrut Imwe. He's not a Jedi, but he believes in the Force, and he uses it. He says he's blind, but he sees with his heart. It was all very spiritual. It was lovely what he said.
That's kind of Maz Kanata type thing.
Yeah, really, really cool. And he said his best friend in the film is Baze, which is Jiang Wen's character Baze. And they asked Jiang Wen to elaborate a little bit because Donnie Yen said, "I don't think I can tell you much more about my character." So they went to Jiang Wen and he said, "Well, my character has got." Firstly, he apologised. I haven't got much English, but firstly, my character, his name's Baze. He's got a big gun. He's got a huge gun,
which was really funny.
And it was very, very funny.
And had he stopped there, had he stopped there, it would have been great.
It would have been
just
great.
Like, I got a big gun. Anything else? A huge gun, and that was brilliant. And at that point, it was just like, okay, cool, moving on. Yeah, that would have been,
They allowed him to trip himself up, and then what he said, which actually stopped me dead. And I turned to Andy, who was sitting next to me. I said, "Did he just say that?" Yeah, he said.
I had the same reaction. I didn't have a friend with me, but
when he, as in Chirrut, Donnie Yen's character, when he's dead, and then he went on to say something like, "I am the character Baze." And
he was sort of saying about reacting to it, wasn't he? I do the way I'm going is like changes or something like that.
And Gwendolyn shut him down.
And when this guy dead, I do something better.
So I do something different or something like that. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted you to get it.
Yeah, if you get it.
Because the way it sounded was like he was having trouble with the language. When this guy dead, I do something better.
Like I say, I think he wanted to speak it. He wanted to phrase it in a particular way. Couldn't get there and went round it.
Yeah, because I suspected maybe it was a language thing, and if he was, I wonder if he's trying to structure a sentence where he's saying, hypothetically speaking, if anything was to happen to Chirrut,
this is what I'm thinking.
This guy Baze would go off on one, and he'd become this unstoppable force. That's what I wondered if that's where he was going with it, but. Yeah. As he got halfway through his answer, I just stopped it and I thought, oh my God, I can't believe what he's done. And then when Gwendolyn shut him down, it kind of drew a line under it, as in.
If you watch, actually, I've just pasted.
Rubbish or real, would she? Because she hasn't seen the film.
No, probably not. But she must know. She probably's got an earpiece and they're saying, stop him.
Yeah, that's
they know.
True.
I think if you have a look at the
I'm watching it
the link
now.
I just sent you, watch Donnie Yen. Because he just kind of goes, there's a look in his face. It's like, oh no. Alan Tudyk's reaction is much more,
What do you mean by I do something better?
I think he's going to go into a rampage.
Yeah, do more.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he does something cool. He basically said I do something different. You watch Donnie Yen, he can see, he clenches his fist and he sort of, there's body language that suggests he knows something's off.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk definitely does.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk goes.
That cat's out of the bag.
Like,
that cat is out of the bag, unfortunately.
I'm just watching.
Yeah. He wants to lean over and tap him and go stop. Yeah. But obviously it's too late. But
what
Donnie
I really wanted it to be. I really wanted it to just be something like Han. I wanted it to be a reference to the way Han was with Luke, that he didn't believe in the Force until The Force Awakens, and then it's true, all of it. I wanted the implication to be that Baze's character arc within one film is what Han went through over several decades, but apparently not. What a shame. I feel bad for Jiang Wen.
I feel bad for him because he's probably going to get, I hope he won't get told off, because obviously they understand. I'm sure, like I say, as somebody who's spoken a few languages, it is hard sometimes to talk around what you want to say, and you do end up saying completely the wrong thing. I mean, to give you an example, when I was speaking to a French person once, I was translating for an American person.
I just saw Alan Tudyk's face. Sorry, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
But I was translating for them, and he told me to tell her that I'm going to speak to the wife, and I'll let her know, and we'll let her know between us. And I was like, okay, fine. So I turned and I without realizing it, I say, he's got to go and speak to the husband, and true story.
Excellent.
But yeah, that's as somebody who's done that in the past, it's easy. It's really easily done.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, like I think you nailed it. Whichever one of you said it, I think he wanted to say if anything were to happen to him, that would change my approach.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of got stuck, and then carried on with a way of expressing it that he did know without any issue. But
the beauty of it is, I've already forgotten, without just reading it, I've already forgotten which characters. And by the time the film comes around, I'll have wiped it out of my head.
Yeah.
And there's also the fact that we all expect them to die anyway, or we expect them all to die.
This is it. Say. We know that there's a good chance that a few people are going to be.
Yeah. It's a darker movie, isn't it?
We don't expect them to get out of Rogue One, do we? Because we don't see them again. So
it's not a. It's not a movie that looks like a happy ending for most. So it's entirely possible that he's not by no means the only one.
But overall, though, what a movie it's going to be!
Like
this is one I'm excited about. Even more than Episode 7. I mean, I can see this being the movie it's saying it is.
It looks to me like a really strong start to this Star Wars story, sort of sideways step for the franchise. It looks staggering.
No confirmation about the opening crawl though, which I thought, damn, I thought we were going to get it at the beginning.
That opening crawl at the start of the event,
one they distorted.
Yeah,
it was brilliant, wasn't it?
I've stuck it on our YouTube channel today.
It was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
That
kind of makes me think they will do an opening crawl. Because why have it kind of on the sizzle reel?
Maybe that's them testing the waters.
Yeah, maybe.
See how we react to that.
Crikey, they don't need to test those waters. It's Star Wars. Put a bloody opening crawl on it, you dickwads.
Yeah.
With the greatest love in the world. I mean, for sake.
No.
We're in After Dark.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We're in After Credits. That's all right. I'll bleep it.
Crikey, how many afters do we have? Are we going to have After 8 next, where you get out small minted chocolates?
I don't think there'll be an After Dark this week. Maybe we'll ask Kyle if we can run.
I have something to. Yeah, so I've got something in the works for that. So don't worry about that.
Okay.
That's.
Can you bleep me out? Sorry,
I'll bleep you out. That's all right. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. People understand. It's all coming from a place of passion.
For Pete's sake, why do they need? Ask us whether they want a sizzle, whether we want an opening crawl. I mean, it's Star Wars.
They're just taking the temperature in the room, Steve. That's all they're doing. They're just
it's
seeing
like
how we respond.
£20 to put an opening crawl on. You can do it on Apple in 30 seconds.
I would do it.
I've got it on my, my video software very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Put it on there, and it actually eats up another 2 minutes of time. You don't need to spend millions on.
That'd be lovely. It'd be lovely to have it.
Anyway, sold you.
Right, let's get out of this because I've got to go and have a birthday. So hopefully, if you stuck around for this little spoiler section, you enjoyed it and we haven't disappointed you too much.
Yep. We didn't start this. We're just talking about it.
Yeah,
we didn't do it.
Just reporting it.
Yeah,
indeed.
This is it.
Copyright.
And we've given
Marcus.
plenty of warning.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
I will. I'll
and
see you bright and early.
Turn in 21.
Present, because he has just spent a lot of money on all my gear.
Oh, yeah. I should have said that at the top
He's
of the show.
bought me new mics and everything for this, and I really appreciate it.
We'll put that out on the next.
It is in part, because we can't do a podcast with the right gear, and it is in part thanks to our VIPs as well, because obviously, Mark, I said earlier, Mark spends far more than he makes, far more. So really appreciate your help, but make his birthday by joining as a VIP.
Nice one. Cheers, Stevie. All right.
Cheers, guys.
We'll see you all next week then.
Thanks, and may the force be with you.
And also with you.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.